Hey guys! Okay, so first of all, I hope that you all had a great Christmas. I am in Pennsylvania right now, actually filming this in just like a random bedroom in my grandma's house, and the lighting is like super yellow and weird, so I'm sorry about that. Also, I have on this hoodie and this Gymshark seamless like long sleeve thing because her house is always so cold. I think it's because she lives in Pennsylvania, so like to her this is like totally normal, but I'm always freezing in her house, but that's okay. Yeah, so I hope you guys all had a great Christmas. As I get older, it's weird, my gifts have like changed so much. I literally got like 5 packs of socks and then I got some Lulu joggers. I got some cute like Lululemon stuff. I got the Paragon Fitwear, the Christina, her little line. I got an outfit from that. And then I got some Adidas all white Pure Boost, which are not in yet. They should be there like on my porch whenever I get back home. So yeah, super excited about that. Hope you guys got some cool stuff and had a great time with your family. Enjoyed just the food, the people, just the holidays in general. And so that will kind of lead me into what I want to talk about today, which is just kind of a quick summary, I guess, of my journey, where I started, where I am now, totally open, honest, and I'll try, I haven't figured out how, I'm gonna like try to insert some pictures so that you guys can see, because I would like show it on my phone, but I'm using my phone flashlight over here so that it's not as dark, because this room is really weird. It's only lit up by a lamp. So anyways, yeah, I'll try to insert some pictures whenever I'm talking about it. But I feel like I have gone through such a roller coaster to get to where I am today, and I think a lot of people who might be new to me don't really get me very much, because I tend to be kind of indecisive, and it's because I tend to jump into things and then fall back into old habits. And yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of explain that, talk to you guys kind of about where I started, the ups and downs, and where I am now. Sorry, I just got really distracted. There's like music playing outside, or maybe it's the movie downstairs, whatever. So I'm gonna start with probably, I would say, 10th grade of high school is whenever, because I was always really tiny. I did cross country, I did soccer, and like a bunch of running sports, and like I was just a stick and like tall, and I'd say like 9th or 10th grade probably I started getting curves, and I started to notice my body, let's say that, because I never thought about it before. I did not care what I ate. I would literally eat anything and not think about it twice. But so that's probably whenever I just started to like notice, and like notice what even weight gain and stuff was. I got on birth control pretty early because I had like terrible symptoms, and so I got on that pretty early, which led to obviously like more maturing faster. And so yeah, it started kind of there. And then I used to work out at a place, I still do when I go back home, but it's called D1, and it's like a weight training slash sports place. And I had started there when I was really young, but the younger classes don't like use the weight room, and so I had stopped going there for a while after I had kind of just started doing my own thing after a while. But anyways, I ended up going back, and then like once I went back, I was old enough to do the weight classes, so that's when I kind of learned about lifting, I guess. But I wasn't as, I was still very cautious, because in my mind then lifting was all just like only for guys and it was gonna make me big or whatever. So I'd say probably the end of my sophomore year, I remember this like one picture specifically when I went to the pool with my friends, and I've always carried my fat in like the back of my arms, and then like the side of my hips and my butt. And like in the picture, I noticed like fat, I guess, and I'm like, it was not even bad. I can like put the picture up here, but yeah, so I noticed that, and that's kind of, I wanted to lose some weight, and I started Kayla Itzines, the BBG, and I saw some really good progress. I started to be more cautious, like I would take my lunch to school, whatever. It was like a really healthy relationship with working out and with food, just like trying to be cautious. But then whenever I started to lose weight, I think I got down to 120, probably. I'm 138 right now. But I got down to 120 and I just like loved losing weight. Like I was obsessed with it. Like if the number wasn't going down, I was doing something wrong. So then I started to run a lot. And so I would, not only did I played sports too, so I'd practice, but then I would run and do Kayla, sometimes other workout classes at my gym. And then I also started to track my calories, and I had my FitnessPal set on 1,200 calories a day. And I'm telling you guys, I never went over that. Like I went under it all the time. Like if I hit 1,000, I was like so happy. I was like, oh yeah, like that's even better. But I never went over it. If I did cheat, I was probably gonna run off the calories that I thought I ate. And I kind of got into that cycle and just and then I kept losing weight, and I was like, wow, this is like great, whatever. I was still doing Kayla, and then I started eventually to go back to D1 and also did Kayla on the side. So as I went back to D1, you know, I'm like now at this point probably 115, maybe 110. I think 110, because 112 pounds was my goal, because I was telling them, yeah, I want to like get stronger or whatever, but really I still wanted to lose weight. But I did kind of get more of a lifting background from that. And I did D1 up until I went to college, but I didn't really recover till college. But it did give me all of my like skills with squats, deadlifts, cleans. Like I learned so much there, and I learned a lot about like how lifting is not only for men, and that's what like started my love for lifting. So I appreciate that. Like will always be grateful for that place, but I also was still struggling a lot. I would still go run in the mornings before and do Kayla in the mornings before it, and was still eating basically nothing. So yeah, basically the over cardio, the overtraining, and the very, very restrictive calories continued until I hit my low of about, I'd say, I think I was 101, because I really, really, really wanted to be 100. And I think I got down to 101, maybe 103, which I am 5'8.5", and that's tiny. I was very, very small. I can put some pictures, and I like thought, there's some pictures I look back on now that I remember thinking I looked big in, and now I'm like, what were you thinking? Like literally what? You have nothing on you. It's like my bones sticking out. I thought was fat. I don't know. That's what an eating disorder does to your brain. But yeah, so I got down to that, and I like still remember this night after a basketball game. I think I had like 75 calories left, and like I had just played a game. Like I was probably starving, and I ate like a piece of toast with artichoke hearts and like spray butter on it, because that's literally the only thing I could think of that fit, that still had like bread. Like it was getting to the point where if I wouldn't do things with people. I would not go out to eat. If I did have to go to family stuff, like I would just binge and then just be a mess. I would like cry at the thought of like even having to go to dinner sometimes, and it just got really, really, really bad and very restrictive. And I went to the gym to burn off calories. That was solely it. And for a while even, I think I stopped going to D1 and was just doing Kayla and a ton of cardio and some squats, because like obviously squats give you a butt, right? No, not if you're eating nothing. But that's what I thought. So then that kind of continued, whatever. I lost a lot of my close relationships with that, which still to this day kind of like makes me sad that I didn't get to be closer to people, solely because I didn't ever want to do things, social things, and I think I did, like I missed out on a lot. Like especially some trips that I've been on where I'm like, you didn't eat the food, like I just can't, like I was so just restrictive and in a terrible place with food. And it wasn't even, it was to the point where even if I hit my calorie goals, worked out crazy hard, that I wasn't happy. Like if I was eating, food was bad, all food was bad, all food did was make me fat. That's what I thought. That was my relationship with it. And yeah, so some symptoms that I had, just like if y'all are wondering, I'm still like kind of always cold, but I was like always like freezing. Like brought a blanket to class in high school. People in my class would be like sweating and I'm sitting there like with the blanket, like my fingers are like purple. I did lose my period for a little bit. For like a 4-month span, I lost it for a little bit. I was grumpy, like moody, definitely not very strong. But yeah, a lot of just, you know, your basic symptoms of that. And then, okay, so moving on to college, and I'm probably missing some stuff, but these are like my main points. So freshman year, it just kind of stayed that way. I was super restrictive. I still tracked everything in my dorm. I ate at the cafeteria twice freshman year, which to my like defense, our cafeteria at Fayetteville at University of Arkansas, I thought it sucked. I still probably wouldn't eat it very often if I was a freshman, but I cooked all my food in my dorm. I ate it. But I also, that year, I think this was kind of the beginning of my steps to recovery, so I was still like 103, but I did start to gain a little bit because obviously I went to some more social stuff, ate out more, kind of had to almost. And then I remember seeing this picture of, I don't know if y'all know who Paige Hathaway is, but I like wanted to look like that. And so I also had met about the same time, met a trainer at the gym, and I kind of asked him if he could help me out, whatever, and he said he would. So we met one day and I showed him that picture and he was like, that girl is easily 30 pounds heavier than you. Because at the time I was still probably 108 at this point, whatever. So yeah, he was like easily like 35 pounds heavier than you. And that's gonna take, you know, years and years to build, whatever. And I'm not saying there's like one specific body. Like I love my body now and I'm just like working on myself. I don't really go after one person anymore, but you know, that was my mindset then. And anyways, so we talked and he wanted me to up my calories to like 1600 at first, and I was terrified, but I think I got almost like lucky with my story because I never went, like, I didn't go to the hospital. I would call I restricted so much and I was very, very underweight, and I definitely was starving. My body was definitely starving. And I definitely had an eating disorder. I don't know if you would call it anorexia. But I mean, I ate as little as I could and hated food, so I don't know. But whatever, point is, I was terrified to eat that much, but somehow I just did it. And at first, whenever I started to gain weight, I absolutely hated my body. And I was still tracking, whatever. But eventually, I started to get stronger and I started to love that. And I started to get super into the bodybuilding and following more girls who I saw were eating like 2100 calories and like looked good and happy and healthy and whatever. So I'm gonna like kind of speed through this part. It was a very long process, but somehow I was able to do a big bulk. Ended up at like 2200 calories and about 145 pounds, I think, which was insane for me to be that much. Like it scared me. I did not like it. And he, like the guy I was working with, even told me like, you know, we're not gonna stay here, like, but if you do want to look like some of these girls, like, you have to put on muscle, and because of where I was to do that, my body was like dying and I needed to give it what it needed to grow in the way that I wanted it to, whatever. So yeah, we did the whole bulk, and then I was kind of at a point where I was just sick of tracking. So I kind of just from there just started adding in some cardio, just eating clean, got super into clean eating. That's kind of a whole nother story. For a few months there, I was like obsessed with clean eating, like would not put anything, no artificial anything in my body, like to the point where if I drank like one sip of something with sucralose in it, like I had a bad that day and I needed to like detox. Yeah, that was bad in itself. That was another stage, but that's just like an eating disorder mindset. Is you always want to fixate on one thing, whether it's macros, calories, weight loss, like eating perfectly clean, whatever that means now. But yeah, so that was a little stage there too. But anyway, so I kind of stopped working with him after that because I just kind of wanted to do my own thing, and he was amazing. Like, honestly changed my life. The two people who changed my life were my lifting coach at D1 and him, just for, he did the whole bulk, like helped me all the way through it, and that's like what made me basically recover. And I didn't even like, I don't even know how I did it, honestly, y'all. I think my mind finally just was tired of being miserable and unhappy, and I was never happy with my body even when I was 105 pounds. And lifting finally made me, and getting stronger, I was finally feeling happy, and it just one thing led to another, whatever. So keep going, and I'll put in a picture. I was like pretty chunky at the end of my bulk. So then I started kind of doing my own little cut, whatever. And then since then, I'm just gonna kind of summarize it too, because that was the end of sophomore year. Once all that ended, I think maybe mid sophomore year, I'm now about to go into my second semester of junior year. But anyway, so since then, basically what's happened, and I'm not saying I'm perfectly recovered, because to be honest, I'm not, which is why I'll talk about what I do at the end. But anyways, then I started following some competitors, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. And so the first time I started, or I got my plan for even a bulk in a competition, because I had not been tracking for a while. I'd just been kind of eating clean, whatever. And I started tracking it. Of course, at first I was obsessed. I loved it. I was super into it. I was happy. I loved going to the gym. I was still giving my body what it needed. But counting those numbers eventually just drove me crazy. And it was kind of either you can either basically give yourself another eating disorder, or you can say, you know what, this is not good for you right now. So luckily I chose the second, because I was already seeing myself get some binging problems, and that is where my binging and purging kind of started, which is total another eating disorder. I would not say I had bulimia, because it did not occur enough to classify it as that, but I did do what they do occasionally. And anyway, so that's kind of where that started, and I'm not going that okay, I'd say I'm recovered, but I still struggle with some things occasionally, so we'll get there. But anyways, so yeah, I decided not to do that show, and then went back to not tracking for a little bit, and then kind of got back into another clean eating thing. And then if I would like not eat clean, I would binge, purge. That whole cycle kept happening. Then I got back into tracking and thought I wanted to do another show, because you know, when I'm in like control and tracking, I think my relationship with food is back to like great, 100%. And then I started to really think about it. This was like pretty recently, whenever I thought I was gonna do one this summer. And like, who knows what I might decide later on, but like every single time I start tracking it, because I had stopped for a while after I X'd out that first show, and got back to intuitive eating over this whole past summer. And it was great. And then once the school year started, actually had a few things happen too that were, I'm not gonna like talk about them, but not good for my mental, like I was kind of depressed a little bit, kind of just like super sad, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. Tracking was one thing that I could control, so I started doing that for a little bit. Lasted about 3 weeks, and I was like, absolutely not. Every single time I do this, I just get anxiety and super stressed, and restrict and binge and purge, and it's just a bad cycle. So I decided, you know, I guess not yet, because whenever I was tracking, I was like, well, I might as well do a show now. And then since I haven't been, obviously that's not gonna happen. But yeah, so this year has been, so I guess we're back like to where I am now. This year has been more of, because of the struggles I went through at the beginning of the semester, I would say has been more of like a almost yo-yo type of thing. Like I'll do really good for a week and then I'll binge. I'm not gonna lie, I have had probably 8-ish like binge and like purge episodes, which is not good. Like I'm not proud of that, but I'm trying to be real here that it's not fully away. I don't know, I hope it will be one day, but I don't know that once you've been down the road of that, and the personality I have, I like to fixate on stuff, and I'm super indecisive, which can cause and I have anxiety, so it can just cause a lot of messed up stuff. But right now I'm super happy. Like the past few weeks have been great. I'm not tracking and I'm not eating clean. I'm just eating and trying to eat towards my goals, like keeping in mind what I'm eating, but also allowing balance. And I'm also starting like a little cut, but not a super tracked cut, just kind of a more like pre-planned type of thing. And so far it's going great. Like I'm really happy right now. But the beginning of the semester was definitely kind of me figuring out what I wanted to do, because I was like, well, I'm not competing because I don't want to like track macros to the gram. I don't even want to be that lean, honestly, because I just don't, like, I have like a goal in mind and it's not really that, at least at the moment. But yeah, so that's kind of what I was trying to figure out. And I went through like a restrictive week, and then I would like eat everything I wanted for a week, and then I would, you know, whatever. And when I say binge, my binges are more almost mental. Like I'll go out to eat, come home because I went out to eat, I'm not even hungry yet. Oh, why not eat this popcorn too, and then some ice cream, and then something else? It's like, why? Like you just went out to eat, like why can't that just be your meal kind of thing? So that's kind of what I went through this semester. Right now, and I don't want y'all to think I'm really happy with like my health and my food relationship, and the things I'm saying recently it's not an everyday thing, but they definitely do still come back, and I do have to fight them and struggle with them. So even more now, so it's like pushing the thoughts out of my head when they come. That happens a lot more than it actually happening. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am now. It's been a very long journey. Like I said, I weigh like 138. My goal weight, I don't have a goal weight, but I do know like what my goal is, and I think the weight's gonna be around like 130 once I lose the body fat that I want, whatever. But yeah, I'm 138 right now. Lowest was 103, had a big jump up to almost 150 in between the two. So yeah, I've been all over the place. I've been restrictive, binging, like all of it, tracking, not tracking. Right now I am doing kind of I'm intuitive eating, and I keep in mind how much protein I've had basically, and I try not to go crazy on the carbs, but I want enough to where I don't lose muscle. And I'm like not tracking it, so I don't really know. But yeah, so that's my story, and I really appreciate you guys if you are listening to this. If you watched it the whole way, I really appreciate it, because it's kind of like a very personal thing to talk about, and a thing to talk about that I think should be more openly like discussed, because yeah, I mean, everybody, or more people than you would think, struggle with it. I just wanted to kind of talk about it and let you guys know, like, if you are struggling with it, you're not alone. And it definitely does get better, but you do have to really like put effort in to make it better, and you have to realize that you have a problem. Like, it took me a long time to just be able to say, okay, yeah, I struggle with food, and that doesn't mean I'm not like fit or that I can't like health, but you do have to have a good relationship with food, and you got to make that a priority, and your health needs to be a priority, mental health as well. So you got to do what you got to do to get that first. If that means not competing, if that means not tracking, if that means not doing any restriction diets, whatever it takes for your mental health first, and then kind of focusing on your aesthetic goals, but not pushing yourself to a point where you're going to be tempted to fall back into old habits, I guess would be a good way to put it. But yeah, so I hope this kind of helps some of you guys relate, or just, I don't know, get some ideas maybe of how I overcame it, even though I don't even really know, and I know it still comes up sometimes, but whatever. Anyways, I just want to thank you guys for listening, because obviously it's a personal topic and I wanted to share with you guys. So that's kind of my life story with food and health and stuff. But yeah, so next video is gonna probably hopefully be a workout. I don't know yet. But anyways, hope you guys had a great Christmas. Thank you for watching. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't already subscribed, do that so that you don't miss videos. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.